Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to Thrash Reviews, where yours truly, Thrash Maniac 99, continues to review upcoming hard rock and heavy metal albums in the calendar year of 2016. And today's a big one. Oh, this is a big one, because what I'm about to review for today is the brand new record by one of the big four of thrash metal, Anthrax, their new album, For All Kings. This is Anthrax's first record in 5 years since the masterful Worship music came out in 2011, and people have been wondering how would this album sound compared to Worship music. Do people think it would be better, or do you think they may have slipped back a little bit in the songwriting process as well as the overall feel of the new album? A lot of changes were made in Anthrax as Rob, the guitarist who played on the past couple of albums, left Anthrax and joined Volbeat, and now Anthrax hired John from Shadows Fall to play lead guitar for Anthrax. And I have to say, based off this album alone, they made a good move of hiring him, considering Shadows Fall's on hiatus right now, which kind of sucks because I really would love to see what Shadows Fall could do for another album, considering Fire from the Sky was a great album. But John's in Anthrax doing good things, so we're going to find out if his addition to the band either hindered the album or bettered the album. To get started with the opening track, which is a combination of an introductory track called Impaled, goes into You Gotta Believe. That introductory track was an epic way to start off this album, and the song You Gotta Believe, what a bold statement to start off the album with one of your longest songs at like 6.5 minutes or something like that, if I can think if that is the actual length of You Gotta Believe. Bold statement to start out an album with a long song like that, and it just knocked me on my ass. Like, it's almost like as if Roman Reigns himself came up to me with this CD, cock-fisted himself, super punched me in the face with all the music that came out of this song. It was just a thrill ride. Like, you want to talk about thrill rides. Like, I love bringing those words up, thrill rides, because that's what some of these albums I've listened to this year have felt like. You're just going through, like, a fun roller coaster, or, like, you're in, like, an action movie, and you're just having fun being a part of it. That's what some of these albums I've reviewed so far have in common, is I'm having fun listening to them, and this album is no different. And You Gotta Believe was a great opening primary track to kick off what, in my opinion, was pretty solid work. Then we get to the track Breathing Lightning. Very interesting track for them to go for, or an interesting idea behind the track, where they kind of slowed things down a little bit and kind of did more mid-tempo, slow-tempo kind of shifts. And it made for a diverse track with a great guitar solo at near the end of the track. Because, like I said, John is a capable player. If you've never listened to his stuff in Shadows Fall, go listen to Shadows Fall right now. You'll know what I'm talking about when I know that John is a phenomenal player. And Anthrax made the right choice of hiring him. But Breathing Lightning was an interesting track in that sense that I talked about. It was something different for Anthrax, because Anthrax is all about playing thrash metal music, but this track was kind of one of their more slower mid-tempo songs that you'll never really hear too much of what Anthrax did unless you listen to their 90s stuff like Sound of White Noise and albums along those lines that had that slower tempo idea behind the music. So that's why this song kind of harkens back a little bit to those days of Sound of White Noise a little bit, but with Joey Belladonna at the vocal ham as opposed to John Bush. Then we get to Evil Twin, which was actually the first single off of this album that was released a few months ago, and what a single to have to get people hyped up for the album. This was a fantastic track. Definitely shows Anthrax's core sound, their core ideas behind the songwriting and the lyrics, and the vocal style. Like, granted, Joey Belladonna's in his mid-50s and his voice has started to age a little bit, but it's been aging well. Like, he can still get up to here despite how he's older now and doesn't sound nearly the same as he did back in the classic era of Anthrax, from Spreading the Disease all the way through to Persistence of Time. But it don't matter. He can still belt it out despite the fact it's aged a little bit, and he can still go with the voice. The next track I want to talk about is All Them Thieves. Really catchy tune, and that's always been the sneak attack behind Anthrax's songwriting, is that while it can be technical at times and it can be really fast and furious, it has some catchiness behind it, you know. An example, the song Indians off of the classic Among the Living, that opening riff, that's a catchy riff, and it is kind of technical, and it's interesting to play. This song certainly has some memorable riffs, and also the whole album has memorable riffs, and thank goodness Scott Ian's still kicking it on the guitar, because Scott Ian is, in my opinion, when it comes to rhythm playing, one of the top 2 best rhythm guitarists in metal, along with guys like James Hetfield and other guys along those lines. I feel are some of the best rhythm players, not lead players, rhythm players. And then we get to the closing track, Zero Tolerance. And what a way to close out the album with the shortest song on the album and one of the fastest songs of the album. By God. Just like kept knocking me back and forth, like boom, 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 boom. Like I'm getting punched left and right in a pit. That's how this song feels, and it's an awesome punching fest. And that's how pretty much a lot of this album was like. It's like you're literally in the mosh pit, headbanging, running around, and having fun. And you get those cool punches a little bit. They're like boom, 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 boom. But you don't care. You're just there to just have the time of your life, and that's what this album certainly wants to present itself to be, is to be an album that people can enjoy as well as really appreciate, and give a lot of credit to Anthrax for being around for this long, still making great music. And what else can you say about Anthrax that hasn't been said already? So far for thrash albums, this doesn't nearly get the cake as Exhumer's Raging Tides did, but this is pretty damn close. This was a great, great album. If I were to give it a score, 90 out of 100. Another contender for Album of the Year. Already. 2016 so far hasn't been bad. It's been pretty damn good, and I am just floored with the amount of great albums I've listened to since I've came back to doing album reviews a month ago. You know, Borknagar, Dream Theater, Exhumer, Anthrax, Flesh God Apocalypse, Rotting Christ. So many bands, and now Anthrax joins that elite group. But where will they be positioned in the Album of the Year list? Because I think for sure they're going to make it. It's just a matter of where. But anyways, there may be another review or two coming out later in the day, because there are a few more albums that came out today that I'm going to be checking out, including the new Entombed AD record, the new Anvil album, and Destroyer 666. But anyways, peace out, and have a good Friday.